Okay, everybody, welcome to this month's book club review on The Big Leap. This was our book club read this month, and it was a fantastic book. I personally loved it, and this was probably the third time I've read it. I really enjoy it so much that I want to keep reading it. It's one of those books that you learn something every time, and you remember, and you get those ahas of, yes, I could be doing this better, and this is why I'm being blocked or stopped. So I love Gay Hendricks. He's just one of those really unique guys who came into a unique field of work where he's able to help people get to the next level in their life, overcome the hidden fear, and make the next step to being their best and their greatest. So while you guys are with me as nutrition and health support, I'm your health coach, and you're possibly here trying to lose weight. We look at a lot of things that we read in this book from the scope of weight loss and from the scope of getting healthier and creating healthier habits. However, having said that, and I want you to always be reading the books with that in mind, you've probably learned so much more about what else can I be doing in my life to up level my life and become more than who I am right now, just from reading this book, because that's what this was about. It's about growing your business. It's about being a better spouse, a better wife, a better mother, a better sister, a better whatever role you have in your life. It's just about up leveling it. And then really it's about taking your dreams, all those juicy, beautiful dreams that you have inside of you, and to stop pushing them aside, but to really focus on bringing them to light and bringing them forward. And we do that by understanding the principles in this book, which we're going to get into right now. So, this is really what this was about. He talks about these upper limit problems. First and foremost, we have this upper limit thing going on that's stopping us from becoming our best self. So, the big leap is about going from semi successful to extraordinary in your life and doing things you never thought possible. And each of us has an inner thermostat. He talks about this thermostat in detail. And that has a setting that tells us how much love and joy we can experience. And when we exceed that inner setting, we often do something to sabotage ourselves to go back to the zone where we feel secure. So we could liken this to weight loss. We get all of the weight off, or maybe we just get some of it off, and then we stop because we have this upper limit problem that stops us and says, we're good. We don't need to go any further. I don't want to do this anymore. Whatever the voices are in our head, they're upper limit problems that stop us from fully reaching the desired goal. Because each of you, when you came to work with me, we had a phone conversation together. You told me your goal weight. You told me what it was you wanted to lose while you were working with me. And I said, cool, I'm going to get you there. Here's the program. Here's the steps to do that. Somewhere along the way, some of us have this upper limit problem. And we're going to get into what those upper limit problems are, some of the main ones, but they stop us right in our tracks, and then we never keep going. And this is why so many people keep doing different diet after diet after diet, because they have these upper limit problems that stop them once they get to a certain level, and then they go back to their old ways, and then they get onto another diet, they get stopped, they go back to their old ways, and they can't get past the upper limit problem of fully achieving this optimal, beautiful wellness life that they could have, free of pain, free of weight gain, all that stuff, free of cravings. All this could be yours when you get past that upper limit problem. All right. So this thermostat is programmed during childhood. So something happened to you during childhood in your earlier years that has put a stop to you progressing or becoming your best. Once programmed, our thermostat setting holds us back from experiencing all the love, joy, financial abundance, and creativity that's rightfully ours. And I believe there's an abundance of all of that for all of us. But it keeps us in our zone of competence, not our zone of genius, which we are going to get into in a second. So this prevents us from living in our zone of genius, and we pull back from our genius in order to take care of others' feelings. So he talks about this in the book where possibly when you were a child, anytime you wanted to exceed or excel at something, it could have been that you put somebody else's needs or desires before your own, or you were very empathetic to the feelings of somebody who might have been suffering, and so you just kind of put that aside, and you always kind of played small and never went big, didn't want to compete with anyone, didn't want to outshine anybody for fear of you outshining somebody and them feeling bad or something. All right, but there's something there that's stopping you from hitting your goals and doing your best. Guilt comes in when things are going well for us. So when we get a promotion or we lose all that weight, we might feel some guilt inside that we didn't really deserve this, or that voice will definitely come nagging, you're just going to gain it all back, or you're if you've promoted at work, oh well, this won't last, so enjoy it while you can. That is really that upper limit problem that steps in from letting you really enjoy your success and fulfilling your dreams. So watch out for that guilt when it creeps in. This book was all about becoming aware of those upper limit problems so we can get past them, so we can really, really excel in our life and live optimally in a healthy state forever. That's what I want for you guys. So how to deal with fear, because fear is going to come up a lot. And he mentions that fear is excitement, but without breath. So we start to kind of hold our breath, but these two emotions use the same mechanisms. And so when you're feeling fear or you're excited even and you hold your breath, it turns to fear. And so excitement will turn to fear quickly when you're just not breathing well. So you want to take big, easy breaths when you feel fear, and your fear will turn into excitement and excitement into exhilaration. So if for any reason you feel fear over anything in your life, especially around nutrition and health, that's what we're working on right now. I want you to just stop for a minute and just take a deep breath in and let it out. And just keep doing those deep breaths and just think about your body and think about yourself in that optimal state of health, and how amazing does that feel to know that you could be there and you are there as your future self, and we're just going to get you there. So that excitement will turn into exhilaration. Okay, that fear turns into excitement, the excitement into exhilaration, which is the feeling we want driving us to reach our goals, to get the result in our life that we want. But the goal in life is not to be somebody else. The goal is to find and use our own gifts. So this is where we really have to step away from, well, what is everybody else doing? Maybe I should just do it their way. Just tell me what to do. And really understanding, how is it that I lose weight? What's the best way for me to get to my healthiest place? What do I enjoy, and yet how can I still have some discipline in all of that and not let myself completely go off the wagon either? But it's finding out your zone of genius, your uniqueness, that gets you the results in your life that you want to have. He talks about lottery winners and how it's not a good thing to play the lottery. Lottery winners blow the money within 2 years of winning, and some are even worse off than before. And so this is the classic example of the upper limit problem. When people win the lottery, a lot of times they're in more debt than they ever were before. And some of them even win the lottery, coming into winning the lottery as millionaires. Now they're billionaires, and they've destroyed their entire life because of the way they've used that money and the relationships that were broken from the choices lottery winners make when they have a lot of money. We got to think about this in a weight loss perspective too. We don't want you to get to that point where it happens so fast, because in the program you do lose weight pretty fast. You can, right? But then you have that upper limit problem where you start to self-sabotage at a certain point, like we were talking about, and then you start to gain the weight back and then some, and now you have all this emotional baggage and stress around diets, or around hiring anybody or spending any money on yourself in regards to weight loss and programs and supplements and things like that. This isn't about a program or a supplement or a diet or a protocol, anything like that. This is about you. And this is about you knowing how to change your mindset around things going on around you. So we want to be careful that we aren't lottery winners when it comes to losing weight. I feel like we've won the lottery here in Optavia because we do have a specific protocol we use, specific nutrition guidelines that are scientifically backed up to get you the results quick. But at the same time, if that mind piece thing isn't there, 85% of people who go on diets and lose weight, they'll gain the weight back within 2 years because they haven't done the mindset work. They haven't done the deep inner work. And that's what we have to always be mindful of and work on as your coach and together, and even you. And that's why we have these book clubs. We're reading books, we're growing spiritually, we're growing personally as human beings in the world so that we can live our best life. All right. So if you are willing to clear blocks out of your consciousness, then you're halfway there. So each of us has an unconscious tendency to trip our upper limit switch, and each of us can eliminate that tendency. And we don't want to trip that upper limit switch. So we need to figure out what those blocks are, and we deserve to experience wave after wave of greater love, creative energy, and financial abundance without the compulsion to sabotage ourselves. So this is important that maybe this become one of your mantras every day. I deserve to experience wave after wave of greater love, creativity, and financial abundance without the compulsion to sabotage myself. I love it because this is really going to get into your brain and help you understand that we're all whole and we're all worthy and we're all deserving to receive whatever it is we want in life, whether it is financial abundance, whether it is greater love, greater joy, more peace, more faith, whatever it is. I know that there's an abundance out there for all of us. And if we just tap into that without sabotaging ourselves, and we just really get to be in the moment and experience the moment, amazing things can happen. So let's talk about the zone of genius versus the zone of excellence, which he talks about many, many times in this book. He says if we turn a deaf ear to our zone of genius, the universe is going to wake us up. So there's things deep inside of us, those dreams and desires that are right there in our zone of genius, and you know it's within you. Maybe it's you need to write a book. You need to do some more teaching or lecturing or helping or volunteering or whatever it is that you have these dreams and desires within you to do certain things which serve humanity that you're not doing and you're not fulfilling on for one reason or another, because the excuses and the fears, they stop you from being in that zone of genius. You might say, I have no time. That's a big one. No time, which we'll get to later on. No money. I don't have any support. That would be silly. That sounds silly. I shouldn't do that. I don't know how. I remember my mother once saying, I think she once told me if I could do anything else and I wasn't a paralegal, I would go open an ice cream shop in the Heber Canyon in Utah next to the Heber Creeper. There's like a little train there called the Heber Creeper, and she would call it the Heber Creamery. And it would be just this cute little ice cream place, which would be a beautiful, perfect spot for that. And when I asked her about that, and I'm like, why don't you just do that? We don't have the money. We don't have the time. That sounds silly. I can't ever get funded for something. I don't know how. Those are our upper limit problems, you guys. Those are the things that stop us from doing what we absolutely would dream of doing and want to do. Got to be aware of those, and you have to know how to get those out of your head. If you invest just 10 minutes a day in your zone of genius and figuring out how to get the money and how to do the things you want to do, and you start to work your way up to 70% of time spent in your zone of genius doing what you love to do. So it's really amazing. And when you put in the time, what can come out of that as far as you getting to spend time doing the thing and the things that you absolutely enjoy doing that light you up and fulfill you in life. So we got to get to the root of that. What's that? But there's 4 fears and 4 false beliefs. that come up for people. I cannot. So let's try to answer these in our head. Okay. I cannot expand to my full wealth potential because, and then try to answer that. I cannot expand to my full wealth potential because why? I cannot expand to my full potential because I cannot enjoy, I have enjoyed twice there, abundant love and relationship harmony because. So this is three of them here. There should be another one. But when you remove these false beliefs, you feel a new freedom to invent a life based on your natural genius, that zone of genius. But you got to remove these fears first. Remove the barrier of feeling fundamentally flawed. Because how many of us say to ourselves, "So I'm flawed. They can do it, but I can't. There's something about me that just I can't achieve my dreams. I can't get there. They were able to do it." I compare myself a lot to people that are ahead of me in other areas of my life that I wish I was. And for some reason, we think we're flawed. But instead of thinking you're flawed, all we have to do is find the way that works for you, that really gets you to a place in your life where you're living from the inward out, like you're really getting to express yourself the way that you were always meant to in this life. It might not be that thing you're doing right now. You might think you want the promotion or this thing you really, really, really want. That might not be it. It's below that. It's in a layer of that. And we'll get to that in a second too. That is what you really, really want. And we have to discover what it is you really, 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 really want so that you can live into that zone of genius. So we got to drop addiction to worry. And worry is definitely an addiction. Like sugar is an addiction, food's an addiction, drugs are an addiction, caffeine is an addiction, alcohol is an addiction, worry is an addiction. And it's a very, very unhealthy addiction. If you worry long enough about something happening, you'll eventually hit the jackpot. It's amazing how the universe gives you exactly what you're thinking about. So stop thinking about and worrying about those things. And chronic warriors are worrying over things they absolutely have no control over. You have to understand, if you have no control over it, why is it holding you hostage and prisoner? Chronic warriors think worrying is useful and helpful, but it's not serving you in any way at all. You choke the flow of positive energy within yourself when you worry. So when you're in a constant state of worry and panic about things, that beautiful, creative, happy, joyful flow that happens to be the same energy as money, the same energy as weight loss, the same energy as better relationships, which is the ultimate emotion of all, which is love. You stop that flow. You stop being in frequency with those things coming into your life. So you're going to choke that flow every time if you're a chronic worrier, and we have to get you out of the worry state. Worries are there just to make you miserable. So you got to quit pressing the worry button. You have control of the finger hitting that worry button. The worrying constantly is going to wear down on your body. And we know that like 90% of disease comes from stress related causes. So please drop the addiction to worry. It's not good for your body. So how do we get rid of it then? Well, you got to notice yourself worrying. This is what he says he does in the book, Gay Hendricks. He lets go of the worry thoughts and he shifts his focus away from them. So you got to notice it, and then you got to shift the focus away just like that. And then you got to ponder for a second, what new positive thing is trying to come into my being? Something positive is really trying to sneak in, and that's why the worry's coming up. Then he gets a sense of it in his body of where this new positive thing is trying to come through. He really takes some deep breaths and tries to feel, where am I feeling it in my body? And then he opens his focus to feel that body feeling deeply. So he'll stay there and he lets himself feel it as long as possible. And then later, you'll get an idea of the positive thing that is trying to come through. So you really got to breathe into it. This is kind of my steps that I teach people on how to feel your feelings is a video I have. So when people call me and they're like, I'm just having a really tough day and I'm having hard stuff happen, I send them my video, How to Feel Your Feelings. And it talks about feeling it deeply within your body, naming it, finding it. And it's interesting how that starts to come out of you, the worry, the anxiety, the stress. And then you start to feel more of the joy and the freedom that comes from feeling joy, and then the abundance and things like that. Then that positive thing starts to come into your mind, and you're already in that energy of love, so it can come to you even more. And so same with all those other things you want, and now you're in the flow. But we also have to stop deflections, because all of us are deflecting. He talks about deflections, and that is basically when someone gives you a compliment and you deflect it. Someone says, hey, nice hair today. So if someone said, hey, I like your curly hair, this would be me deflecting that. Well, it's kind of frizzy and I didn't really have time and I was in a hurry, and so I just did it like this. That's a deflection. But when someone gives you a compliment, if you pause for a second to notice the beam of positivity being aimed at you, and then you thank the person, and then say something positive about yourself alongside their compliment. So if someone said, hey, I like your curly hair, I could pause for a minute and I could say, thank you so much. That's so kind. This is my natural curly hair, and I've always appreciated that I'm able to scrunch it up when I'm in a quick hurry and it still looks cute. There's ways that we can be authentic to us and take a compliment and not deflect it away, and then stay in that flow of positive energy. You want to keep the positivity going. So always notice yourself when someone gives you a compliment, how do you respond to that compliment? Okay. Then there's these integrity breaches within us that we have to be aware of. So committing a breach of integrity is one of the quickest ways to bring yourself down after an excursion past your upper limit. So if you're on a high, you got past the upper limit and everything's going well, and then you have a breach of integrity somewhere, it's going to take you right back down. Then the guilt's going to cycle, then the worry, and then all the shame, and then all these things come up. The most popular integrity breaches are these right here: lies, broken agreements, and withheld truths. So if you'll begin to notice those three things, you'll begin to make strides toward your zone of genius and break the upper limit patterns. So notice where you're lying, whether it's to others or to yourself. Notice if you have any broken agreements. If you agreed to meet someone for lunch, do you break those off a lot? I mean, where do you have broken agreements in your life? And withheld truths. So where are you withholding the truth? From yourself, from others, anything. Just try to find it within you so you can get back into your zone of genius. It's going to take some humility on your part to really break this down and really see where these areas are in your life. So begin by understanding what integrity is. Hang on one second here. I'm going to move my screen so I can see the slides. Okay. To be in integrity means to be whole and complete. So think of it as a physics issue instead of a moral issue. A lot of times people think to be in integrity means I'm a moral person. But if we think about it like a scientific physics thing, it really is to be whole and complete. And so a breach of integrity stops the flow of energy. So for example, if someone on the street, just like he mentions in the book, comes up to you that you know, and you say to them, well, how are you today? And they say, oh, I'm fine. But their expression on their face, they're scowling or they look sad. Now, a breach of integrity would be if I just brushed that aside and I just said, oh, yeah, well, I'm fine too. Hope you have a good day. Bye. Instead of saying, well, I can see that things may not be fine by the look on your face. So is everything really okay? Then you would be in integrity, because you would be back into the flow of a positive energy of something's not right and you're not skipping over it. So ask, where do I feel out of integrity with myself? What is keeping me from feeling whole and complete? What important feeling am I not letting into my awareness? I want to make sure that we're still recording, guys. Hang on a second here. Yeah, okay. I didn't see the record button there. Okay, moving back in. What important feelings am I not letting into my awareness? Where in my life am I not telling the full truth? Where in my life have I not kept my promises? In my relationship with a certain person, what do I need to do or say to feel complete and whole? So these are what we need to really ponder on and get clear on so we can move past. So we got to figure out, what is your unique gift or ability? The pinnacle skill of your life working life and non-working life. Okay, so if you have a skill that's within your working life and your non-working life, we want to find what that pinnacle skill is that you're really good at. Your skill produces enormous benefits to you and those whom you serve. Who are you at your deepest level? Your unique ability is camouflaged inside another skill you possess. You may not even realize your unique ability is what's driving your success in applying the larger skill. So he uses this Russian nesting doll theory, where really within one doll is another doll within another doll. And so we find out what's at the core that really makes you the best at what you do and what you can do and become. Your skill might be helping people solve problems. So if you just love to listen to people and help them solve their problems, that would be a very beautiful skill. Okay, so just think about some of your skills, gifts, and abilities within the world, and even within around weight loss and getting healthy. What is it that you love to do? Why do you love to do it? And who does it make you become when you do that thing? So I'm at my best when I'm fill in the blank. When I'm at my best, the exact thing I'm doing is, so this is where we're going within the nesting doll, okay? So when I'm at my best when I could say I'm at my best when I'm coaching clients. When I'm at my best, the exact thing I'm doing is teaching the clients how to help them solve their problems. When I'm generating ideas on a yellow legal pad, the exact thing I'm doing is doodling and filling of creating something out of nothing. When I'm doing that, the thing I love most about it is, this is just an example, when you feel an inner glow of wonder and excitement, you'll know you're getting there. And you start to feel like, oh yes, I just love that feeling I get when I see somebody have an aha moment and they really get it. They really get what I'm teaching them. And then they go and change their life and then they report back to me. Ultimate success mantra to stay in your zone of genius. Okay, so we have an ultimate success mantra here. We talked about another mantra, probably on slide 2 or 3. But here's another one here. Install this at the root of your being. You want to focus on the mantra and bring your mind back to it when it wanders. And here's the mantra. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. I expand in abundance, love, and success every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. So as you repeat this over and over again, you want to expect that there's going to be some back talk happening. I expand in abundance, love, and success every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. The back talk will come in the beginning for a while and say, well, no, it won't. No, you don't. You won't expand. You don't inspire anybody. Who do you think you are? You're just a wannabe know-it-all type of person, right? All that back talk. So just expect that chatter, but don't pay it much attention. Okay, and this is really the last thing in the book he talks about within the last 2 hours of the book. He talks about making the shift to Einstein time. So if you're a person who's always saying things like, I don't have enough time, we're going to be late, I can't, hey, can we talk later? I'm running late. You are on Newtonian time, okay? And Newtonian time says that there's a finite amount of time and there's time scarcity. But Einstein time is really this infinite amount of time. So you are where time comes from. And when you get this, when you really get this, you'll never feel rushed again. There's no time limit on you becoming your best self, your healthiest self, your optimal weight. There's no rush here. But at the same time, we don't have a lot of extra time to waste by being idle and not working on ourselves. So you really have to understand how this time thing works. And when you do, you'll always know that everything happens right on time. People die right on time. You are at the right place right on time every time. And as you truly believe this, you start to understand that you're the maker of time. And so the first thing you have to do in order to really understand this time thing and how to make more time in your life is to realize that you are where time comes from and to be aware of all the things you say that come from time scarcity. So you need to go on a diet, a Newtonian diet where you're getting all of this out and you're understanding that no, I'm not going to be saying these things anymore. Don't ever say I'm busy anymore. Don't ever say, got too much to do anymore. Really try to catch yourself whenever you make a negative comment towards time at all in any way. And once you do that and you stop saying you're busy and you don't have time, guess what happens to time? It multiplies. But you've been so scarce with time. And because you've been scarce with time, you feel like you're living on this Newtonian time. You never have enough of it. So we got to make the shift to Einstein time because time, he says, time is an illusion. And we just got to live right now and live in the flow and just don't ever feel rushed again. Everything happens right on time. Okay. So that was it. That was our read. And I want to introduce next month's book club then. Our read for next month coming into October. This is one of my very favorite books. I know I said that about The Big Leap, but this one is perfect for October. You guys are going to love it. It's by Napoleon Hill. It's called Outwitting the Devil, The Secret to Freedom and Success. There is a lot of health stuff in this book that the devil says to Napoleon Hill. You know, he's kind of trying to outwit him as this character in this book. And the devil is saying, giving away all his secrets to how he's getting people to be gluttonous and idle and what they need to do to be healthy and stuff. It's really cool. I loved this book. I can't wait to read it again. So here's some tips to ensure that you're reading, because my fear is that you guys have taken the back seat on reading your materials at all. You should be always reading your life book every day, 5 minutes, and journaling in it, and your habits of health book. If you can squeeze that in 20 minutes a week, man, you'd be sitting pretty good. But I want to make sure that you are reading and taking the time to really grow as a person here and to change our brain. So you got to schedule 10 minutes each day to get your reading done. Do it first thing in the morning. Make it the one thing on your priority that you do first before anything else. You don't go to bed until you've read your 10 minutes. So whatever time you're ready to hit the lights and you haven't read, say, oh, I didn't read my 10 minutes yet. I got to read my 10 minutes. Make a sticky note and put it on your steering wheel to remind you to listen to your audiobook. So if this is an audiobook, for me it is, then instead of listening to other podcasts, I'm listening to the book. And then stop making excuses for not reading and working on your personal growth. Stop saying you don't have time. Stop saying you're too busy, or you'll always be on Newtonian time and not Einstein time. You have time. So just don't say you don't have time. You have time. Tell yourself you do, and you will. All right. Thank you guys so much for attending the book club. You can find blog articles and more stuff over at healthcoachheather.com. I am a certified master health and wellness instructor, certified master health coach and wellness instructor. And I'm here to help you guys with anything that's going on in your life. So thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. And so go get that book. Go get that Napoleon Hill book. And we're going to be reading it together this coming month, which starts tomorrow. So by the time you watch this, it will already be in that month. Have a beautiful night, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.